The King's Avatar, Chapter 1309 Who's Under Pressure? Audio source, wusharworldaudiobook.com. Chapter 1309, Who's Under Pressure? Translator, Nomyami. Editor, Nomyami. In round 23 of the regular season, where Team Happy faced Team Tyranny in their away game, the players from both teams had already started entering the stadium with holographic projections showing off each character's flair. Yishu, your record ends here. The moment Yishu stepped foot into the stadium, the crowd started issuing battle cries. This was evidently something premeditated. Ha, what a nostalgic feeling. Everyone else was shocked, but Yishu simply laughed it off. Come to think of it, he hadn't encountered this kind of treatment for a long time. His reception at the All-Star Weekend was similar, but ultimately uncomparable to during Tyranny's actual home game. The All-Star Weekend was a grand occasion for all of Glory, and having it hosted in Tyranny's home stadium would only result in slightly more Tyranny fans. There would still be many other fans from other teams, or even neutral fans of Glory, so Yishu's reception wouldn't be as grand as this one, where seemingly everyone in the stadium was targeting him. While walking towards the player seats, Yishu respectfully listened to the various cheers that the crowd were freely coming up with and shook his head. It's been a few years already, how come these fellows from Tyranny can't come up with any fresh ideas? After Team Happy, Team Tyranny's players entered the stadium, which was naturally a completely different scene to behold. Team Tyranny's fans had an unstoppable passion, whether it was against their enemies or for their team. The players from both teams met each other, and as everyone crossed the stage and shook hands, the crowd once again hollered, Yishu, your record ends here. Yishu, who was shaking hands with Zhang Jiale, laughed and said, listening to the hopes of the fans, your first player must be under a lot of pressure. Since the competition was about to begin, divulging who would be playing first was no big deal. The gazes of all the players from Team Tyranny fell onto Lin Jingyan. Oh, it's old Lin, Yishu said. Lin Jingyan was depressed. The reactions of the fans in the crowd were something that the players couldn't predict. Yishu wasn't wrong. With such expectations from the fans, the pressure on him was considerably weighty. If he wanted to win against Yishu, it really wouldn't be an easy feat. It's been hard on you, I'll just take this point first. Yishu took the opportunity to say this as he was shaking Lin Jingyan's hand. You're too arrogant, Lin Jingyan said. Work hard. Yishu patted him, continuing to be as arrogant as ever. Old Lin, you can't lose. Zhang Jiale got fired up. Lin Jingyan innocently looked at him. Why don't you go? I already went the last time. Now it's your turn. Zhang Jiale said without any hesitation. Naturally, I'll do my best. Lin Jingyan said. Since he had already been selected as the first player, there was no need to hide his true feelings. Yishu was truly a troublesome opponent. His response seemed to lack passion and fervor, but the stability he had from his many years of experience was something that up-and-coming new players couldn't compare to. In no time at all, the competition officially began and the players from both teams entered the field. Team Happy's first player was, as expected, Yishu, and Team Tyranny's was Lin Jingyan. The crowd took it upon themselves to start the jeering again, but Yishu had already been tempered by years of experience and was unfazed by it. On the contrary, it was Lin Jingyan who was under a great amount of pressure. To be honest, this was a scene that Yishu had seen countless times, but Lin Jingyan had never experienced it himself. When he'd arrived at Team Tyranny, Yishu had already changed to the unspecialized, and the first time they'd met, it had been at Happy's home stadium where the atmosphere was naturally very different. It was only now that they were playing at Tyranny's home stadium that Lin Jingyan began to understand exactly what kind of attitude Tyranny fans had towards Yi Xiu. How bad is this hatred? Quote, this was a question that Lin Jingyan really wanted to ask. Go on stage, log into the character, enter the map. The players already couldn't hear the shouts from the crowd. Still, the fans of Tyranny continued to use all their effort to verbally assault Yi Xiu. Stop making so much noise. All of a sudden, Yi Xiu's message appeared in the public channel. It'll be over in a flash. Yi Xiu used these words to send his message to the crowd. Could everyone possibly stop making noise after that? The noise from the crowd momentarily grew even louder, to the point where Lin Jingyan could faintly hear their cries from inside the player booth. This is unscientific. Lin Jingyan was astounded. He'd spent so many years as a professional player. And except from at the very beginning, when the facilities were basic and crude, it was his first time being able to hear the crowd after entering the booth. How many decibels was the noise outside? Wasn't this Yi Xiu too good at adding fuel to the fire? Old Lin, hurry up and accept your death. Yi Xiu began to provoke him in the public channel again. Lin Jingyan ignored him. This kind of trash talk could no longer affect him. He wasn't some new generation player or a rising talent. At the time when Yi Xiu was unparalleled, he was already part of the alliance. He had a better understanding of Yi Xiu's strength than other people. After all these years, they had encountered each other more than just a few times. Lin Jingyan didn't want to tally their battle record though, because he knew that it would just make him unhappy. He wasn't arrogant or overbearing. He had been called a god for many years, but he was never one of those at the peak. Neither rising nor falling, it made people feel as if he was a little muddle-headed. He had thought that his professional career would come to an end like this, slowly heading to its boring end, but then he was released from his team. After accepting Team Tyranny's invitation, 3 players at the twilight of their professional careers had gathered in the most hot-blooded of all the Alliance's teams. Champions. Lin Jingyan didn't think he would be in over his head so quickly, unexpectedly wanting to aim for this height again. In this team, with these players next to him, his once dwindling passion was suddenly reignited. They had fought vigorously for an entire season, but tragically fell short at the last step. Countless people felt great pity for them, and at that moment, Lin Jingyan had thoughts of retiring. But at his side was a player even older than him, who, right after losing the championship, had straightened his back at the press conference and said, "We'll be back next year." Han Wenqing was even older than him, but he still hadn't given up. Zhang Jiale had placed second 4 times, but he still hadn't given up. And then there was that Yi Xiu, who had dug out an entire team from an internet cafe before stubbornly triumphing over Excellent Era and imposingly slaughtering his way back into the alliance. All of them hadn't given up. How could he be the first to give up? Lin Jingyan stayed on, holding on to the dream of becoming a champion and starting his efforts anew. Dark Thunder walked out of the respawn point, strategically moving towards the middle of the map. Lin Jingyan didn't want to fight Yi Xiu head-on. It had already been more than half a season, but the unspecialized Lord Grim wasn't something that could be adapted to in half a season. This was simply because they didn't have the necessary conditions to practice for him. Aside from the actual competition, they could only rely on their theory crafting, but without putting it into practice, their grasp over the unspecialized was still unsatisfactory. So Lin Jingyan decided to use tactics, taking a roundabout route to advance. After walking halfway, he saw another message from Yi Xiu in the public channel. "Old Lin, could you hurry up? I've been waiting for half a day." WuxaWorldAudio.com Lin Jingyan ignored him, continuing to move at his own pace. If talking more could help you win, Huang Shaoshan would already have won 6 championship titles. After going in a roundabout fashion for a while more, Lin Jingyan finally saw Lord Grimm, who had been waiting for him in the center of the map. The guy was just standing there, gripping his umbrella in a self-satisfied way. Why didn't it seem like he was here to compete? For a moment, the old general, Lin Jingyan, had gotten infuriated. It had passed in a moment, but he still had to control himself from getting irritated. After fighting against each other for so many years, could he still be unaware? Ye Xiu's arrogant self-confidence was something he did for show. If one were to think he was actually arrogant and fight him under these false impressions, they would truly have been duped. This guy was truly dirty. Lin Jingyan couldn't help but think of the blood and tears that he had shed in the past, before frantically dispelling these thoughts from his mind. How could he think of such things now? It was too hurtful to his morale. Lin Jingyan directed Dark Thunder to hide at one corner, carefully watching Lord Grimm's actions. Upon closer observation, the guy looked like he was taking a stroll in a self-satisfied manner. But he was actually moving towards a few places where one could sneak attack from, blocking them completely without leaving any openings. Old Lin, you've arrived, right? How long have you been squatting for? You'll eat a yellow card, you know. Ye Xiu started talking again. I've arrived, I'm observing you now. Lin Jingyan replied. Really? Do you need me to make a few relaxed-looking poses for you? Ye Xiu replied. Sure, you can start posing. Lin Jingyan said. Alright. Ye Xiu replied, and Lord Grimm's myriad manifestations umbrella quickly transformed into its gun form. Gatling gun. Lord Grimm's body turned, sending the bullets flying out in a horizontal arc and causing the surrounding dirt to fly into the air. Unexpectedly, he completed a full 360-degree turn, and a bullet exploded just to Dark Thunder's side. Lin Jingyan's judgment in having his character stay completely still was truly incredible. How was it? Ye Xiu asked. Nice gunplay. Lin Jingyan replied. Let me show you another trick. Ye Xiu said. Oh. Puff. A cloud of purple smoke up as Lord Grimm threw out a smoke bomb, concealing his entire body before disappearing without a trace. This isn't nice to look at, Lin Jingyan said, but he was already frantically adjusting his camera angle, afraid that Ye Xiu would use the smoke screen to have Lord Grimm quietly creep over. But according to reason, he shouldn't have been exposed yet, right? Lin Jingyan had some hesitation in his heart, and in that moment, his judgments weren't as resolute as before. This guy, what was he planning on doing? Lin Jingyan didn't see Lord Grimm quietly creeping over, and he didn't want to act blindly and expose Dark Thunder's location, so he continued to endure waiting for the purple smoke to disperse. Look at this trick now. Suddenly, Ye Xiu sent another message into the public chat. At the same time, in the midst of the purple smoke, a blinding white light suddenly flashed. Fuck. Lin Jingyan swore, but his screen was already filled with white. Flash bullet, a Spitfire skill. But by now, everyone knew that Lord Grimm's perverse myriad manifestations umbrella could add a different skill to each of its forms. And this time, Ye Xiu had evidently added flash bullet to the gun form of his weapon. Borrowing the smoke screen of the ninja skill, Smoke Bomb, he had waited until the smoke had gradually thinned out before throwing a flash bullet. The light pierced through the smoke, finally dazzling Lin Jingyan. I can't move. He still doesn't know where I am. I'm not that easy to find, Lin Jingyan thought. Ha, you don't dare to move now, right? Why don't you guess whether or not I can find you? Quote. At that moment, Ye Xiu sent another message in the public chat. After being dazzled by Flash Bullet, he couldn't see anything, but he could still talk without any impediments. End chapter. The King's Avatar. Chapter 1310 Backfire. Audio source, wushaworldaudiobook.com. Chapter 1310 Backfire. Translator, Nomyami. Editor, Nomyami. Lin Jingyan wanted to cry. This is exactly why they hadn't figured out Lord Grimm's unspecialized class after half a season. Apart from possessing all the low-level skills from all 24 classes, he could also equip different skills to his weapon. That meant that Lord Grimm had the chance of knowing any skill that wasn't a classing or awakening skill, so long as Happy had enough skill scrolls. Under such circumstances, how many different combos could Lord Grimm execute? That wasn't something a human mind could calculate. Especially since they didn't know what skills would be set into the myriad manifestations umbrella. How would they know what to look out for? Looking at his whited-out screen, Lin Jingyan didn't know if he should act or if he should wait it out. In the end, he made a decision. He'd endure it. Skills added to a weapon would be at most rank 1. The effects of Lord Grimm's Flash Bullet wouldn't last long, and Lin Jingyan refused to believe that this guy could figure out his whereabouts in such a short time. That's what Lin Jingyan thought, thus, Cold Thunder stayed there, unmoving and calm. The audience, as well as Tyranny's players, were just about close to crying. Lord Grimm was already standing in front of Cold Thunder. If he moved the myriad manifestations umbrella forward just by a bit, he would hit the other's forehead. Old Lin, you've been tricked. The spectators with their omniscient view actually all knew that Yizhu had probably caught sight of Dark Thunder when Lin Jingyan had first creeped into the center of the map. The TV broadcast chose a shot of Lord Grimm's view. There was a split second where a figure flashed by in the corner of the screen. Yes, just a shadow, just a split second. Pan Lin and Li Yibo had even had a very long and enthusiastic discussion as to if Yizhu had seen it or not. Back then, no one could be certain if Yizhu noticed or not and how far he could go in determining Dark Thunder's position from that. It wasn't until a flash bullet blinded Dark Thunder and Lord Grimm's form appeared from the dispersed purple smoke, accurately darting towards Lin Jingyan, that everyone was certain that Yizhu had noticed that split-second incident and accurately determined Dark Thunder's position. Then, Gatling gun swept forth smoke bomb. He really put on quite the act. It wasn't until the flash bullet was used that Yizhu managed to close in without Lin Jingyan's notice. Victory had already been decided. Lin Jingyan's sight came back while he was being attacked, and then received a head-on beatdown from Lord Grimm. There had yet to be anyone who could counter Yizhu's unspecialized blitz. Lin Jingyan tried and tried and tried, but still lost in the end. The first individual competition ended and Yizhu left the stage with a victory to thunderous cursing. Things like how fake, how deceitful, how treacherous, what a show-off. No matter what, that's how it was like for Yizhu at Tyranny. If he lost, there would be endless mockery, and if he won, it wasn't much better. No matter how he won, the Tyranny fans would still find it dirty, unhonorable, low-end. The passionate, open Tyranny fans would all become mean and petty when Yizhu was concerned, nitpicking at everything and not seeing anything good in him. However, Yizhu was completely unmoved, calmly returning to his seat. Tyranny's home game atmosphere doesn't seem to be affecting Yizhu at all. Commentator Pan Lin exclaimed. Li Yibo, sitting to the side, gave a strained smile. He was from Tyranny, and though it had been a long time, he had personally seen this scene before, shaking his head and saying, "It's not affecting Yizhu, but instead it's affecting Lin Jingyan's performance. The atmosphere Tyranny's fans created has backfired." Pan Lin was stunned. This atmosphere is something Lin Jingyan has yet to experience, having been on the team for half a year. When the match started, everyone was yelling about ending Yishu's consecutive wins. It's easy to yell, but what about for Lin Jingyan, who is actually going up against Yishu? In the end, this is only giving him more pressure. Li Yibo explained. Oh, so that was why he had accidentally revealed his shadow while moving to the center of the map, giving his position away to Yishu, Pan Lin said. Yeah. Li Yibo sighed again. Pan Lin didn't continue the conversation. This saying wasn't illogical, but how could you be certain that Lin Jingyan's mistake was because of this pressure? Pan Lin felt a little incredulous, so he couldn't really bring himself to agree so fervently. By then, the second players on each team were heading towards the stage. Happy, Mo Fan, Deception. Tyranny, Song Qiang, Sunset River. Hey, the second round is a clash between two newcomers. Pan Lin exclaimed. Indeed. Li Yibo confirmed, looking interested. There were quite a few talented rookies this season. Tyranny's Song Qiang was definitely one of them. As for Happy, they had a particularly large number of rookies. Tang Rou, Bao Rangxing, and this Mo Fan. Then there was their Cleric and Wenyi. However, if you wanted to say whether or not they were talented, that was a bit of a problem over here. People originally had high expectations for Tang Rou, but then there were some conflicts with her character and her popularity plummeted. Though this had some effect, Tang Rou's performance in the field continued to be outstanding. The alliance was very conflicted. The selection for the Best Rookie award wasn't like the All-Stars voting. Popularity wasn't considered. From pure performance, Tang Rou was the most outstanding rookie this season. In addition, her position in the team was something no other rookie could hope for. She was the last line of defense for the arena, and no other rookie was taking such an important position in their team. She also performed extremely well in her position, scoring consecutive victories. Her performance in the team competition was rather amazing as well. In typical circumstances, Tang Rou would be a steady first in bot popularity and skill. Even if her popularity was low, Tang Rou's performance would be enough to convince people. But the problem was that Tang Rou's popularity wasn't just a little low, it was practically in the negatives. Award Tang Rou with Best Rookie under these circumstances. The alliance really felt that they didn't have enough support to do that. They had never experienced such a situation. They were burning brain cells trying to figure out what to do. They just hoped that an even more outstanding rookie would appear. But there were none. In this era, even if rookies had talent, they need their teams to give them a chance to shine. Many mature teams had talented rookies, but they weren't as reliable as veterans due to their lack of experience. Each team had their own way of cultivating young talents. Some did throw their rookies into the thick of things directly, like Lu Hanwen, who became a core member of the team at 14 and successfully took the title of Best Rookie. On one hand, he truly had talent, and on the other hand, he had enough chances to show his talent. Diamonds will shine, but this wasn't the same for everyone. This season's Tang Rou was like last season's Lu Hanwen. She had plenty of chances to shine, and she made good use of them, become a unique talent amongst the rookies. Wuxia The alliance hoped for some new rookies. They didn't have to be better than Tang Rou, just being on par with her was good enough, and it would solve all their problems. Now there was still half a season. After the first half of the season, would there be any teams that felt their rookies were settling in well and could take on more responsibilities? Li Yibo knew of the alliance's attitude, so when he saw a match between rookies, his interest was piqued. Would there be any rookies that'd make a good final run and get to Tang Rou's level? "Hey, this pair of rookies is pretty interesting." Li Yibo opened up a discussion with this topic. This Mo Fan used to be a notorious scrap picker in-game before getting pulled into the team by Yi Shu and attending the Challengers League with Happy. He's a rare self-taught talent these days. As for Tyranny's Song Qiang, he's a talented product of Tyranny's Traring camp. He grew under professional Traring, coming from a very orthodox background. What's interesting is that this striker player did not inherit the style of Tyranny's Han Wenqing, but instead, from what we've observed, took after the Tyranny vice-captain Zhang Xinji. His style is very meticulous. That's true indeed. This match will truly be interesting. Pan Lin commented. Let's see which rookie will perform better. Li Yibo exclaimed. The silent Mo Fan and serious as Zhang Xinji Song Qiang were both the kind of player that didn't make conversation. After the match started, there were no communications in the chat. The two met and opened combat directly. A wild, self-taught style and a meticulous, academic style clashed. In this battle, Song Qiang attempted to break through Mo Fan's barrage in a frontal confrontation. However, Mo Fan's peak performance was enough to suppress Sun Xiang. Song Qiang was really struggling to deal with it. Every time he felt that an opening was imminent, Mo Fan would always swiftly pull a full retreat. Song Qiang really didn't like this sort of pace. This was way too abrupt. Who even fought like this? However, this was the exact kind of opponent he had trouble dealing with, and fell to a disadvantage in the match. What do you think? Quote, at Tyranny's bench, Han Wenqing posed this question to the others as they watched the match. It seems like that Mo Fan can only use 5 to 6 skills at a time well. He'll always break off his offense after these few skills and won't follow up with a new offensive afterwards, but instead clearly slows his pace down. It really does look like cooldown play, Zhang Xinji analyzed. However, his execution of those few skills of his is truly very high. Zhang Jiale commented. Compared to before, he's improved immensely and his style has become more varied. However, he really has yet to solve the problem of continuity in his offense. Lin Jingyan added, if he can really solve that problem, then he'll become even more scary. Zhang Jiale exclaimed. Yes, Lin Jingyan agreed. However, the current skill combos seem very complete and mature already. They don't hold much to continuity. Zhang Xinji brought the topic down for deeper analysis. Could it be that he plans on persisting in his use of this style? Zhang Jiale wondered aloud. He can clearly do better, so why doesn't he try? Lin Jingyan voiced his confusion. What if he can't try? Han Wenqing suddenly cut in. End chapter. The King's Avatar. Chapter 13:11 Improvement. Audio source, wuxia-world-audiobook.com. Chapter 13:11 Improvement. Translator, Nomyami. Editor, Nomyami. If he can't try. Han Wenqing's words stunned everyone. Then, he can only endure and perfect this style. Zhang Xinji completed Han Wenqing's analysis. Thus, everyone fell silent. As for why he can't try, that was a problem gossips would definitely be interested in. However, as Happy's opponent, it wasn't necessarily important. They only valued the consequence. What kind of player would Mo Fan grow into? When we go back, we should take another look at this player's battles. Zhang Xinji decided. As for the match, it was Mo Fan who claimed the final victory. Just as the match finished, Song Qiang charged out of the booth and rapidly approached Happy's player booth. Is this little guy so persistent post-match? That's even worse than Zhang Xinji. Fang Rui commented. You think Mo Fan will pay him any attention? Wei Chen asked. That'll depend on if Mo Fan can understand his intentions or not. If he does, then I don't think he'll refuse. Fang Rui guessed. Just as he said this, Mo Fan also came out from the Happy Player booth. He didn't even look at the other side, walking directly towards the steps that led off the stage. "Hey!" Seeing this, Song Qiang called out, breaking into a run and eventually catching up with Mo Fan. Mo Fan looked at him strangely, confused. Song Qiang didn't have the sturdiest of constitutions. After sprinting for a few steps, he was left panting for breath. "How can you play like that?" Song Qiang said. Mo Fan frowned, clearly not understanding what Song Qiang was trying to express. Thus, he ignored the other and turned to leave. Song Qiang didn't block his way, panting as he hurried over to Mo Fan's side. "What on earth was that tempo of yours? Why don't you continue with your offensive? With your skill level, isn't that better?" Song Qiang said. This time, Mo Fan understood him. He didn't stop walking, turning his head to look at Song Qiang, saying, "I can't." "Why can't you?" Song Qiang persisted. Why couldn't he? This question had Mo Fan deep in contemplation, but he wasn't able to formulate a response to that. In the end, he gave Song Qiang an infuriating answer. "Because I can't." "What do you mean, because you can't?" Hey, everything has to happen for a reason, no? Is it because you have to use such a tempo? What is forcing you to maintain it? Song Qiang continued to pursue the question. Mo Fan's frown deepened, but he didn't know how to answer. He wanted to get rid of this annoying person as soon as possible, and his footsteps subconsciously quickened. "How come you're not speaking anymore? Oh, is it a team secret? We're opponents, so I really shouldn't ask so much, but I think there's a lot of improvements and adjustments that are worth making to your style," Song Qiang exclaimed. By then, they had arrived at Happy's player bench. Mo Fan quickly walked to his own seat. Song Qiang had followed him here, but, helpless, he knew that he couldn't go and sit at Happy's bench. Plus, his last words had been heard by everyone in Happy, all of them looking back at him with no idea what to do. They had been joking that Song Qiang was chasing after Mo Fan for the chance to touch his hand, that he was even more strict and formal than Zhang Xinji. They hadn't expected that he had been clinging to Mo Fan, trying to talk about something like this. "Kid," Yishu spoke up. "You're right in saying that his style needs improvement. However, you're the same. You have much to improve too. I'll do my best, but Song Qiang didn't seem like he was willing to give up. He'll also do his best. I look forward to your next match against one another." Yishu smiled. "Thank you, senior, for your guidance." Then, Song Qiang actually bowed to Yishu. There's no need for that." Yishu hurriedly went to stop him, but there was no way he would make it on time. The entire venue exploded at once, whistling, jeering. "Look, that's why I didn't want you to do that," Yishu said helplessly. No matter what reason Song Qiang had for bowing to Yishu, the Tyranny fans would immediately be pissed off. It was deserved. Song Qiang refused to be swayed. The reactions of the audience didn't make him regret his actions at all. Once he had said that, he returned to Tyranny's player bench. It was, instead, the veterans of Tyranny who were nervous. "What happened? What did Yishu say to you?" Zhang Xinji asked. "Don't take anything that guy says to heart. It's all trash talk, got it?" Zhang Jiale said in absolute seriousness. "He only said that I had much to improve on," Song Qiang explained. How come it sounds so nice? Zhang Jiale was confused and glanced over at Happy. He saw Yishu looking over, too, and smile, waving, when he saw Zhang Jiale look around. Zhang Jiale decisively turned his head away, face dark as he said, "Try to not interact with him, alright? Look at how sly and evil his smile is." Song Qiang looked back, puzzled. How come he couldn't see anything that resembled slyness or evil? Alright, go and rest. Don't worry too much about the result of the loss, Zhang Xinji said to Song Qiang. Song Qiang nodded, returning to his seat, yet his mind was still on the loss just now. WuxaWorldAudio.com. How come he absolutely had to use such a tempo? That was the question that had caught his curiosity. By then, the third player on both sides had gone up already. For Happy, it was as always, Su Mucheng and her dancing rain, while Tyranny sent Zhang Jiale and his dazzling 100 blossoms. It's time for us to get a point. The two gunners attacked as Zhang Jiale made his proclamation. In the end, Zhang Jiale achieved his goal of garring a point, defeating Su Mucheng and garring a point in the individual competition for Tyranny. Afterwards, Happy sent out Fang Rui, Steamed Bun and Tang Rou for the group arena. As for Tyranny, it was Chen Miyun, Bai Yanfei and Han Wenqing. The two sides exchanged blows, fighting all the way until the fifth round where Tyranny, eventually, claimed victory. The instability of this Bao Rangsing is truly quite the headache. When he's in his element, he can accomplish miracles, but when he's not, it's like he's sleepwalking. The determinant of the group arena was clear as day, Steamed Bun. His performance wasn't so good this time, and he was defeated easily by Bai Yanfei. Tang Rou was unable to turn the tides against one and some players, and Tyranny gained another 2 points. The one-on-one portion of the match came to a close, and Tyranny was, for now, in the lead 3-2. The team competition was decided today's victor. You can take careful note of Zhang Xinji's playstyle in the team competition. If I recall correctly, he's your idol, right? Ye Zhu told An Wenyu while they prepared for the next match. This young person, standing in the line of fire, was still holding Happy's health up match by match. In the previous round, Happy had beaten their opponents 10-0, but the team competition had been focused on a vicious, relentless offensive. As a healer, he was more on the defensive end, so An Wenyu had limited space to perform last round. But now, the time for battle had come once more. Tyranny. An Wenyu was once a fan of this team. But after joining Happy, he had slowly begun to see Happy as home, while his feeling for Tyranny cooled. In the first half of the season, when they fought Tyranny, An Wenyu had felt a little weird, but this time he was very calm. Zhang Xinji? An Wenyu glanced over at Tyranny's player bench. Zhang Xinji sat there, posture straight, as he rested his mind with closed eyes. I've seen plenty of his matches. An Wenyu replied. There was no way he wouldn't have thought of looking to a god for ways to improve. An Wenyu was well acquainted with watching Zhang Xinji's matches to learn from him. Watching recordings and learning through actual battle are very different. Remember to pay attention. Ye Zhu said. I will. Quote, and when you would have loved nothing more than to become the ultimate healer overnight, and he wouldn't miss any chance to improve. Being able to personally experience the skill of the number one cleric Zhang Xinji was a rare chance, something that only happened twice per season. Soon enough, it was time to start the match. For Happy, it was Ye Zhu, Su Mucheng, Fang Rui, Qiao Yivan and An Wenyu with Tang Rou as the sixth player, the same lineup they had used against Samsara. As for Tyranny, it was Han Wenqing, Lin Jingyan, Bai Yanfei, Qin Muyan and Zhang Xinji, with Song Qiang as the sixth player. Tyranny is still persisting in their rotation. Zhang Jiale only participated in the individual match and isn't in the team competition lineup, Pan Lin noted after seeing Tyranny's lineup. In this season for Tyranny, even Han Wenqing was no longer a set feature of the core team. The three veterans, he, Lin Jingyan and Zhang Jiale, hadn't appeared in the team competition together for a long time. Other teams rotated in order to counter their opponent. However, tyranny's rotation seemed to just be for rotation itself. They had persisted like this for half a season. At first, their performance was subpar, and people had been uncertain about them. However, their performance slowly stabilized, and the doubtful voices petered out. Even so, tyranny's performance this season was nothing compared to last season. As for this rotation, it was less like strategy and more like reducing strain on their older players so that they could keep up. After realizing this, all that was left were sighs and mourning. The team competition ended in tyranny's victory. Though Zhang Jiale hadn't been fielded, their team was experienced and cunning enough. The flaws of Happy's and Wenyi were magnified whenever they met a strong team, especially since they were against tyranny and their number one cleric. In the data for the two clerics' performances, An Wenyi had lost humiliatingly. An Wenyi sighed. He was rather numb to defeat now, and going against Zhang Xinji directly this match, the other's performance had An Wenyi's self-doubt multiplying. When the two teams shook hands post-match, An Wenyi's head was bowed low. Now, every defeat of Happy's had his hand in it. He was probably that useless teammate in the eyes of his opponents. He didn't want to face that sort of judgment. You have a very good grasp of timing. It wasn't until he heard someone say this to him when they shook hands that he lifted his head. I finally understand why Happy insists on keeping you. Zhang Xinji, the number one cleric that he had idolized for so long, was saying to him in person. Nomyami Tien. In Chinese, there's a saying, which translates into, there's no need to fear a god-like opponent, but you should fear a pig-like teammate, meaning that a useless teammate will harm you more than a powerful opponent. That's the useless teammate, and Wenyi is referring to. End chapter.